I request all of you to please maintain silence. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Priyanshu Bhatt.
And I am Arushi Mittal.
It gives us immense pleasure to welcome you all to the 14th Foundation Day celebration of the Indian Institute of Management, Tiruchirappalli. We want to take this opportunity to extend a very warm welcome. We would like to take this opportunity to extend a very warm welcome to the dignitaries, our respected faculty members, staff members, students, and the alums who have joined us today. I request Sri Gopi Thangavel, Professor Rishikesha T. Krishnan, Dr. Pavan Kumar Singh, Dr. Godwin Tennyson, and Professor P. Sarvanan to please take their seats on the dais. Thank you. Before we begin our program, students are requested to kindly switch off their mobile phones for the length of the ceremony. I thank you for your cooperation and understanding.
Light is considered a symbol of auspiciousness, prosperity, and abundance. Light brings brightness with it and removes darkness. Light makes it possible to see things clearly. I would now like to invite all dignitaries to inaugurate the ceremony with invocation and lighting the lamp. I now request the Director Sir to please present our Chief Guest, Professor Rishikesha T. Krishnan, and our Guest of Honor, Sri Gopi Thangavel, with a lovely bouquet. Thank you, sir. Now it is a great pleasure that we play a video presentation outlining the journey of our illustrious institution from its humble beginnings to the the heights it has reached today.
IIM Trichy began its journey in the NIT Trichy campus, where it welcomed its first batch of students. The foundation stone was laid by Sri Kapil Sibal. And here's a glimpse of the decade gone by at our prestigious institute.
quite a peek into the journey of our institution. It is my pleasure now to invite Dr. P. Sarvanand, Dean of Corporate Relations and Faculty Affairs, to deliver the welcome address. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Sarvanand to the stage.
So good afternoon to everyone. So it's my absolute pleasure to extend warm and heartfelt welcome to all of you present here today as we gather to celebrate 14th foundation of IIM Tiruchirappalli. So this is a significant milestone in the history of our institute, and it is an honor to share this special occasion with so many distinguished guests, faculty, staff, students, alumni and well-wishers. So on behalf of the entire IIM Tiruchirappalli community, I would like to welcome all of you for being here today to commemorate this momentous day. So our foundation day is not just a celebration of our past accomplishment, but also a reflection of our commitment to excellence, innovation, and the pursuit of knowledge. 14 years ago, this institute was born with a vision to foster leadership and create world-class management professionals who are ready to take on the challenges of a rapidly changing global landscape. Over the years, IIM Tiruchirappalli has grown into a beacon of academic excellence, renowned for its rigorous curriculum, vibrant campus culture, and dedicated faculty members, staff members, and students. So today we are very privileged to have with us distinguished dignitaries who will inspire us with their thoughts and experience. Sri Gopi Thangavel, Group CIO of L&T, who will be our guest of honor. I welcome you, sir. His leadership and vision in the technology and infrastructure are exemplary, and we look forward to hearing his insights. Professor Rishikesha T. Krishnan, Director of IIM Bangalore, our esteemed chief guest, whose expertise and thought leadership have contributed immensely to the growth of medical education in India. So we are honored to have you with us, and we are waiting to hear from you, sir. As we celebrate this day, let us remember that it is not just about looking back at our achievements, but also about forging ahead into a future that promises new opportunities, greater challenges, and immense potential. I welcome our beloved Director, Dr. Pavan Kumar Singh, and Dr. Godwin, Dean Administration. So once again, I welcome you all for being here and for your continued support and faith in IIM Tiruchirappalli. We are excited about the future we are building together. Enjoy the program, and let us make today a memorable and inspiring occasion for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I'm privileged to introduce our esteemed director, Dr. Pavan Kumar Singh, a figure who indeed does not require one. Sir prefers to not have one, so I won't delve into his personal affiliations. Beyond titles and credentials, our director is characterized by his warmth and compassion. He consistently provides guidance and mentorship, steering us towards paths that lead to contentment, happiness, and genuine success. Dr. Singh exemplifies leadership through action, embodying the principles he imparts. We view him not just as a director, but as a guru, guiding us through his exemplary conduct. With great honor, I extend an invitation to Sir to please come and deliver the welcome address.
So once when I will say happy birthday IIM Tiruchirappalli, you all will please join me saying happy birthday IIM Tiruchirappalli. So happy birthday IIM Tiruchirappalli.
Happy birthday, IIM Tiruchirappalli.
Thank you very much. My very dear and respected Professor Rishikesh Krishnanji, Director of IIM Bangalore, our esteemed guest of honor, Sri Gopi Thangavel, most welcome to you. My colleague, Professor Godwin, Professor Sarvanan, respected Mrs. Krishnan, thank you for coming here and being with us today on this momentous occasion. My faculty colleagues and all dear staff, dear all students, guests, ladies and gentlemen. So Foundation Day is basically happy birthday, and birth has its own stages. Human birth also has its own stages. One is conceptual birth and other is biological birth. And in 2010, basically, not 2011, the conceptual birth of IIM Tiruchirappalli took place along with other 5 IIMs. So 6 IIMs got born at one go in 2010, became operational in 2011. We say that we began our journey since 2011, from 2011 onward. So we start counting from 2011 because that was the year in which we started our action. And of course, it is written here 14th Foundation Day, that's fine. If we count the first Foundation Day after completion of 1 year of the institution. But actually, if you count the first Foundation Day as the day on which Foundation was there, then actually technically it should be 15th Foundation Day. But anyway, I'm not trying to correct anything. But basically, we have completed 14 years. And the Factories Act 1948 says that if you have not completed 14 years, you are a child. And once you have completed 14 years, you are adolescent. So from the Factories Act 1948 angle, we are no more child, and we were never child. You see, I would like to paint very briefly a kind of chronological journey of any institution of IIM caliber. See, first 5 years of any new institution that goes into investing efforts for managing the flagship program somehow and getting the basic meager infrastructure. Otherwise, in the beginning, any IIM has started in other institution, hosted by other institution, and thanks to them. For example, IIT Kanpur started in HBTI, Harcourt Butler Technical Institute. IIT Kharagpur started in the jail, Gizli jail. IIM Indore, where I served for long period, started in Women's Polytechnic. IIM Tiruchirappalli started in NIT Tiruchirappalli. IIM Sambalpur started in one private engineering college, and so on. So first 5 years, as you know, when a child is born, in the first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 months, family members keep debating, "Ye mama jaisa lagta hai." No. Fufa jaisa lagta hai. Why I'm saying so? Because shape of the face of the child in the beginning 5, 6, 8 months is not very clear. What is the exact contour and face of the child? Only after 1 or 2 years we say, "Oh, no, this child is more like mother or more like father or more like that maternal uncle." So first 5 years of an institution of IIM caliber basically has to put a basic effort to safeguard for which the institution is known. And in that process, all the sister institutions, they chip in. This is the process. Any IIM newly open, all sister institutions will chip in so that the standard of delivery of education does not fall down because one institution is new and is struggling. So we don't leave any institution struggling. And I have seen at least 4 or 5 institutions directly that how they have grown and how other sister institutions chipped in. And similarly, it happened with IIM Tiruchirappalli also. So first 5 years. The next 5 years, basically, you start creating your basic infrastructure. Good classroom or state-of-the-art, let us say, facilities, library, e-library, all these things. The next 5 years, you start putting your efforts and searching for some kind of, let us say, identity. That phase which is going on now for the institution. From 10 years to 15 years, and that is a good thing, no? Struggle is bipolar in nature. One struggle is unproductive, you keep struggling for reaching nowhere. But without a struggle, no gain. And no pain, no gain. Viktor Frankl said in 1943, there is no gain without any pain. So, pain is needed. And within 10 to 15th year, in which phase this institution is now going on, it is searching for. It is searching for, let us say, some special purpose, some meaning. Of course, we have ensured that the basic purpose for which the institution has been created, especially for knowledge dissemination and creation, that is well at place. But still, what is special about it? Where you are heading towards, we are still searching. And there's no harm if we say we don't have still a clear picture in which special, let us say, area in which we will be known for. And in academic institution, we do not pressurize the system to be so fast. Hey, fast, be fast and declare your shape. No, we don't do that. We allow it to happen. And this is the difference of heaven and hell when we say you have to do it and when we say put your effort and allow it to happen. Because educational institution is like an orchard. We allow the bud to get converted to flower. We don't keep dictating the bud. Hey, you have to become flower of this shape exactly. कौन सा एक पंखुड़ी थोड़ा लंबा निकल जाएगा? We have to allow it to happen. We don't know. And that's why we'll find that at one phase, because I'm a student of human side of management, And when I was young lecturer, that time, IIM Ahmedabad was known especially for OBHR area. Why stalwarts, 4, 5, 6 top stalwarts, they were by chance there only. But these all arrangements are not permanent. These stay for 15 years, 20 years, then some other institution starts developing in that area, or one institution having edge in one area starts losing edge, but still maintaining the quality. So, finance area, marketing area, operations area, even today, IIM Tiruchirappalli is known for all its areas. And let me tell you that wherever I go at least, and I don't know whether on my face they want to please me, but I always say, my friends, don't please me, please criticize me. And they say that IIM Tiruchirappalli is known for positivity, for positive vibes, for positive things, for doing anything that is taking things into right direction. So overall, we have earned some name, some fame, and some people say you are strong in this area, some people say you are strong in this area, 1 or 2, 3 areas, they keep counting, fine, but we still need to put more efforts to grow in those areas. And we also have to allow to other areas to actually grow and take its own shape and take its greater height and depth. So we are into that phase. And when an institution crosses 15 years of age, then basically it sets the pace that where it is heading towards. And some institutions, they become, let us say, moderately paced, some become fast paced. That depends. But let us see how in next 2, 3, 4 years IIM Tiruchirappalli takes shape. That is going to be very, very crucial, very critical. Because after 15 years or after 20 years maximum, after 18 years I will say, because 18 is also a critical stage. After 18 years, you can't say that I am still growing and searching for my direction. You can say up to 15 years, I am searching, we are searching, no harm. But at certain place, you have to say that we have grown into this area and allow it to happen and to grow. So this is the journey, typical journey of Management Institute, and the story of IIM Tiruchirappalli is almost parallel to what I was trying to place the picture and paint the picture for it. Now there are many stakeholders for this, and today is the time to say gratitude and big thanks to all the chairmen who have, one chairman who worked early, Mr. Damodaran. When I was faculty at IIM Indore, I first time met Mr. Damodaran, and I found that he was not only IAS, but he was a prolific speaker and a good thinker. And later on, we came to know that he became chairman of IIM Tiruchirappalli. So personally, I was very happy because I had heard him sometime in 2007-8 in IIM Indore when I was faculty there. And then our second chairman, whose term is going on, and 3 directors. Of course, in between, Dr. Godwin was director in charge also. Thank you to all you also, sir. You handed over charge to me. And sometime when I have to go out station, I hand over charge to him or some my other dean. Then I ask him how you are feeling when I am handing over your charge for 2, 3 days. Are you so happy? He says, no. Please come back quickly. So anyway, and let me tell you that this institution has grown into infrastructure, and we are still growing into that. And let me tell you a very, very quick picture and paint a picture where we are heading towards. On infrastructure, we are planning in such a way that within next 2 years, we should have all those infrastructure so that to 2030 at least, on basic infrastructure, no one should worry and bother. And we know that the students are living in twin sharing accommodation, but let me tell you, every institution has to pass through these stages, including Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, or presently IIM Mumbai, NITI, I was also faculty there. They had to pass through these stages. 1 or 2 or 3 batches have to do that kind of sacrifice, or faculty has to do that kind of sacrifice, or students have to do that kind of sacrifice. It is part of the journey, so bear with it. But once things will be ready, up to, let us say, 2030, we should not struggle. And what happens when you go to market, leaving your purse and mobile, forgetting your cash in home, and you are in the market with no purchasing power, your creativity gets dampened. Similarly, when infrastructure is not with an institution, proper infrastructure, creativity also gets dampened. So I was just saying to Professor Krishnan that infrastructure is a kind of hygiene factor. If it is not there, you feel the pinch. If it is there, so what? Because actual infrastructure in academic institution is that knowledge infrastructure, the subtle infrastructure, soft infrastructure, knowledge power, all these things which are softer. And it is said, softer is more powerful than harder. Yes, softer is more powerful than harder. And that's why manas is more powerful than physical body. Buddhi is more powerful than manas. Your Atman is more powerful than your buddhi. More subtler it is, more powerful it is. So that's why the journey is like creating hard infrastructure, let us say tangible infrastructure, software infrastructure, knowledge infrastructure, various things. And in this course of action, you find that many practices in our institution is at par with any institution in the country. So I think on behalf of all my students and all my colleagues, I can say to our two guests here that we are on right path and we are progressing, and in future certainly will be known for the things for which we should be known. And I'm not going to count what in last 5 years or 7 years we have created, but we have created many things. Now let me say that I'm very happy today that we received two guests, and I know both of them personally. Professor Krishnan. Professor Krishnan, in those days, director used to be boss of faculty. So in those days, when I was professor of IIM Indore, he was my boss. He was director of IIM Indore. But I said in those days, directors used to be boss of faculty, and these days no more. I don't go with that idea, okay? So, during his tenure, I say that IIM Indore got the basic direction and stability. I remember it when he joined January 1, 2014, and 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, exactly, I think, sir, 31st December 2018, you gave the charge and you came to IIM Bangalore again at your current institution as a professor. So I have worked with Professor Krishnan, and he has a great institution building leadership orientation. And thank you that I think I was not agreeing to that, but when he said that you have to nurture IIM Sambalpur, I was reluctant. I said, please give charge to somebody else. I want to just read, write and think and see stars in the sky. But then he said, no, you have to do it. And then I did it. And thank you, sir, that you said that you have to do it. Because then I could learn the art and science of nurturing an institution from scratch. And right from, let us say, getting registration done of IIM Sambalpur up to 2 days before the final first convocation, full 2 years. Perhaps, with your permission, I can say what is said in Bengali, that I had to do Chandi Part Theke Juto Silai Pujanto. This Chandi part is the most auspicious thing, and Juta Silai means repairing the shoe, means from trivial job to most, let us say, escalated job you have to do. And he said, you have to take care of everything. So that was a good experience of nurturing a good institution. And let me tell you, the joy of how you feel delighted when at one point of time you are facing a pain. Because developing a new institution is a pain, of course. I was professor at IIM Indore, and we had to nurture IIM Sambalpur, and I had to go to IIM Delhi for a ministry meeting. I had to go to Bhubaneswar for ministry meeting at on state level. Lot of, let us say, challenges were there. But when last year I went to Pan IIM conference to IIM Sambalpur, and I saw mesmerizing infrastructure. And whenever I see a new institution having good infrastructure, a little better than my infrastructure, I start feeling joyful. At least they are having good infrastructure. Because when that land was being acquired, I was member of that land acquiring identification committee, and we had a barren land. Generally, state government gives most unproductive barren land to IIMs. Let me tell you frankly. In IIM Udaipur, they did not give any land. They gave just one space between two mountains, two hills. But anyway, now you go to Udaipur, it is a beautiful campus. IIM Sambalpur, it was a rocky campus, it's a land. But now you go and you will be delighted to see the campus. So, a lot of experience I had with Professor Krishnan and Mr. Gopi. I'm happy to say that we have interacted, and he is also our alumni. Isn't it, Gopi ji? You are delighted to be an alumni of our place, and we are also delighted to have you again here, because you see, honoring alumni and looking alumni, watching alumni to have such a great progress is a matter of joy. And I have taken one course also that is called Bliss. Bliss. And I say that those who have not studied bliss will miss blissfulness. And bliss is behavioral learning and insights from Sanskrit scriptures. And Mr. Gopi had attended those sessions delivered by me in my class. Anyway, so on this occasion, dear students, especially to you, because you are going to be alumni of this institution. And alumni relationship is permanent. And dear students, grand congratulations for institution's birthday, completing 14 years. And dear all my colleagues here, faculty, staff, and officers, and all ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you, greet you on this momentous occasion of completion of 14 years of the institution. Happy Foundation Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening and kind words. Now it is my privilege to introduce the guest of honor, Shri Gopi Thangavel, Group CIO of Larsen & Toubro. With over 2 decades of experience, Shri Thangavel has been at the forefront of driving digital transformation and innovation in IT landscape. His remarkable journey spans strategic leadership roles across diverse industries, showcasing his expertise in harnessing technology to enable business excellence. As the Group CIO, he aims to spearhead the L&T's digital transformation initiatives, enhancing operational efficiency and aligning IT strategy with the company's goals. His passion for leveraging technology as a business enabler continues to inspire the professionals across the industry. Without further delay, I invite Sir to share his thoughts with us.
Hello everyone. Can we give a round of applause to Dr. Pavan, please? Very good. Thank you everyone. And first I want to start with Dr. Saravanan quote, which is when our course was over, he gave a wonderful speech, and I missed it today actually. I wish he would speak something. He gave a wonderful information since he have so much statistics information. He said one thing to us, what is your asset? This is what he asked us. What is your net worth? So net worth, everyone earlier people used to say, how much money you have, how many assets you have, what is your bank balance, what you have, right? But the today world, it is not anymore really a net worth. The net worth is nothing but your networking, right? I believe whoever attended Professor Saravanan classes, you may be aware of that. So when we go a little deeper, then we understand all these things, because our batch contains almost close to 16 country people actually. That is what I'm able to recall. Of course, IIM Tiruchirappalli have students across 32 countries. And the 16 country people, and each one is in different domain and different companies. And we all collaborated. Even today we have a WhatsApp group and other groups we have. And still we are asking, okay, what to procure? And is it a good product? And how the license model works. You know what, we need a talent for this area domain. Can you guys refer? So all these things happen there. And it is a wonderful thing for the network. Thank you, Professor. It is so beautiful. And another thing, the wonderful thing we learned from Dr. Pavan, actually, to be honest, we didn't treat him as a professor at all. We treat him like, our friends. Because we started to argue, we started to debate, and he never get upset about it. And he encourages. He encourages to, okay, debate with me, no problem. So we get into the deeper end. He never questioned like, okay, you know better than me. He never show like that. He's showing like, okay, oh, you want to know more? Okay, I'll tell you more. And slowly we get into the deep of it and second class and third class, and we understand, okay, this person not like he's look like, he's more and more information we have in all the domains. And it is wonderful to know you, sir. Thank you very much for that. And the great person one is I'm missing is Mr. Abhishek. He's missing here. And he texted me, Gobi, I'm not available today. You give wonderful experience, wonderful examples. You won't believe it, within 15-20 minutes you give at least 5 different examples, which is not an error or something. It is 100% you are able to correlate. That is the beauty of all these things. And when I look at back in 2011, the Founders Day, and what is the status today, where we are, and I am kind of places like IIM Trichy. If you look back, we are the largest, earlier fourth economy in the world when the inception happens. Now we are in third. And I just look back, what are the contribution happens? When we look back, 45 startups, which is supported by IIM Trichy. And it is more than 500 research paper has been published. And students working in across 32 countries, which is a large. And you look back, the history is really, really impressive. And when you go back and check the GDP and other contributions, largely the IIM institutions continuously contributions to the Indian growth. And you look back, IIM Trichy is consistently in top management school in India. I hope you all aware that. And I'm not just refreshing it. So when I look back and the other things, okay, what is the best thing, which is when I was a student, what I was missing and what is important to convey. It is important to understand situation unpredictable. Things will be unpredictable. And the worst situation bring best out of people, sometimes worst out of people. And some people a hero, some people zero, I can recall one of the examples one of our professor gave. In Bangalore, if you go Mysore and other area, you will largely found there is a street called Ars. Ars street is very common in Bangalore and Mysore areas. And when you look back, that time there was a chief minister, his name is Ars, Devraj Ars. And Ars, what happened, one day he went to the hotel and he had a dosa. And the masala dosa rate is around 25 rupees. So I'm talking about in quite some time back, before egg day period. So when he talked the 25 rupees, he said, 25 rupees, how poor people can afford masala dosa. So he called the secretariat, he called the IAS and other analytical, everyone, what is the real cost for dosa? They said, sir, it will come 150 to 2 rupees max. Okay. Who are having a AC, make it like a 2 rupees 50 paise. If you don't have a AC, make it 2 rupees. And today onwards is implementations that. So now what happened, majority hotel went bankrupt because they already estimated and all these things. There is one of the hotel, what they done, they don't have money to pay. So they call all their employees, give their butter and everything. There is tons and tons of, we have the materials. You go back and our regular customer, tell them this is our secret ingredient of our dosa and everything. So each employee, they took that so many kgs of butter and they went back and they distributed. When they distributed, when they come back and check the money, how much they collected, it is triple time of what they normally sell. And they said, it is a wonderful idea, what we are missing. Then they started, okay, this is as a business. Then that's how the MTR brand, launched. Right? MTR is one of the largest in Karnataka and other states, even in Tamil Nadu also is there. So there is a bad situation, somebody able to turn around to the good actually. So it is important how you are turning back. Even you look back as a student, you look at yourself. Largely, whenever we go to the college campuses, we've seen the wonderful talents actually, wonderful talents. The key thing what they miss is they really lack on communications actually. That is what we largely miss it. Because they know very well, conceptually they are good, but when they communicate, they cannot articulate what they want to speak. So that is what we normally empathize. If you're really good at something, you are able to explain what you are wanting to explain to your grandmother. It doesn't matter. It's artificial intelligence or machine learning or any other theories or any other conceptual in MBA or anything. If you are able to explain to your grandmother, that means you are really thorough and you are very well know what to do. So it is important to improve our skill on that area. So that's what my only thing, which is I really want to communicate to you guys. It is very, very important. And when I look back, there is one more quick thing, which is the similar kind of influence. There is a multiple things happen. One is a planned activity. Another one, coincidence happen. For example, when you look at the 2016, there was a demonetization happen. There was a UPI launched in 2016, and the same year Jio also launched. At the same time, GST also slowly implementation started. If you look at that, everything look coincidence, of course. But at the same time, it's transformed our entire India in a way who were able to adopt the UPI and payment gateway, they survived. And they went to the next level. And who are not able to adopt the situations, you know what happened to them. And of course, many countries and many also started to follow the same. If you go to now Australia, if you go to even Dubai, UPI is one of the largest migration happening now. So India is already there in top class, and it is important to understand how fast we can adaptability and how fast we can do that, right? And some of the time, we will have a Q&A questions with the college students. I used to go to NIT, IIT, IIM. So they will ask only one thing, sir, can I learn Python? Is it okay? Can I learn this particular tool? It's not about the tool, it's not about the technology, it's not about the domain, it's about your passion. The passion will lead you to somewhere you cannot even imagine. If you put your heart and soul, whatever you do, it will change the entire game. That's how, if you really look at the students also, whoever put a heart and soul, doesn't matter. Anybody pulling them, making fun of them, or bullying them also, doesn't matter. They grow faster, better, bigger. So it is important for you guys. Everybody knows that, but still I'm just repeating. Put your heart and soul, whatever you do. It doesn't matter what you learn, but are you really learning? That is important. And every day we have to learn and more and more. So due to time, I think I can give hundreds of examples. But one thing is, keep in mind, in Tirukural we used to say, right? The hard work always pays more, Even God wants to stop you, He cannot stop you if you really put your heart and soul. So it is very important to understand that. We put our heart by foot. Doesn't matter you are a believer or not believer, it doesn't matter. We can achieve what we want to achieve. And looking forward, more and more contributions from IIM Trichy towards to this placement, towards to the contribution of research papers, towards to the Indian economy, of course the global growth and better environment. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, sir, for leaving an impression on all of us. This would certainly stay. Last year, the students of IIM Tiruchirappalli engaged with its MAT Make a Difference program with enthusiasm and zeal. MAT's primary goal is to raise awareness among our students regarding the prevalent social issues in our society. And each year, outstanding projects receive recognition. The institution takes pride in presenting the certificates to the students who have demonstrated exceptional dedication and effort in their MAT project. The best project this time is titled Strategic Marketing and Educational Outreach to Empower Rural Women and Underprivileged Children through Voice Trust. I request our guest of honor, Shri Gopi Thangavil, to facilitate the students by awarding the Best MAT Project to 2023-25 batch of PGPM, HR and PGPM. I request the following students to come to the dais. R.N. Vijayvargya, unfortunately couldn't be with us today. Ashutosh Gupta, Jagdish Patnani, Shubhangi and Vaibhav Sharma.
Jagdish. One.
Close on. Oh. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations to all the students for their incredible achievement. Employee recognition is all about acknowledging the hard work and accomplishments of the individuals. It is about creating an emotional connection. And here at IIM Tiruchirappalli, we proudly commemorate the faculty and staff members' dedication to completing 10 years of service at our institute. I invite our chief guest, Professor Rishikesha P. Krishnan, to felicitate them with a certificate and a token of appreciation. I request the following members of faculty and staff to please come to the dais. Starting with faculty members, first on our list is Professor Vipin Kumar Dixit. Next on our list is Professor Gajanan M.S. Mrs. Gajanan with us, we would request her to please collect the certificate.
Thank you.
Next on our list is Professor Papri Nag. Next on our list is Professor Smita Prashant Chattopadhyay. Professor Smita is not with us. I request Professor Upam to please come forward and collect the certificate on her behalf.
Hi Upam, how are you?
Yes, very well, sir.
Thank you.
Last but not the least, from the staff members, we have Miss D. Priscilla. I sincerely request that everyone please gather for a group picture.
The original one.
Okay. Sir, please. Sir.
Certificate difference.
Sir, wait. Okay. Okay, ready? Okay, ready? Chin down. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all. I now have the honor of introducing our chief guest of the day, Professor Rishikesha T. Krishnan, Director of IIM Bangalore. Professor Krishnan is a distinguished academic leader, a visionary in the field of management education, and a pioneer in shaping the future of Indian business schools. With an exceptional career spanning across academia, research, and industry, he has earned recognition for his outstanding contributions to the management domain. Before assuming his role as the director of IIM Bangalore, Professor Krishnan was the chairperson of the strategic management area at IIM Indore, where he excelled in teaching and research while playing a pivotal role in shaping the institution's strategic direction. He holds a fellowship from IIM Ahmedabad, a master's of science degree from Stanford University, and a master of science degree from IIT Kanpur. His academic expertise and leadership have made him a thought leader in the area of corporate strategy, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Professor Krishnan's research has been published in some of the most renowned international journals, and he is known as an advisor to numerous organizations, both in the public and private sectors. He has been actively involved in consulting and executive education, working with global firms to foster strategic thinking and innovation. His leadership at IIM Bangalore has been instrumental in furthering the institution's mission to provide world-class education, research, and thought leadership in the field of management. We are truly privileged to have such an accomplished and visionary leader with us today. His insights and experiences will undoubtedly inspire and motivate all of us. Without further ado, I invite Professor Rishikesha T. Krishnan to please deliver the Foundation Day address.
Good afternoon. First, let me compliment and congratulate all of you at IIM Trichy for reaching this very important milestone. My earlier visit to IIM Trichy was actually at the NIT Trichy campus. So I'm really happy that I'm here for the first time at your beautiful campus. The last time I came, I actually came to teach business ethics. I was just remembering. I took a session for the students at that time. I think it was 2012. And you can see that lots of things have happened in my life also in the interim. So I'm really happy to be here with all of you, and congratulations to the Institute. As you heard from Professor P.K. Singh, there are several personal connections as well which bring me here today. One is, of course, that Professor Pavan Singh was my colleague in IIM Indore, and we worked closely together, which he already mentioned. But also interestingly, my ancestors actually come from not very far from here. So though I haven't got much connection to my so-called native place, one of the things which Professor Pavan Singh used to lure me here was to say you can go and visit that place. So I'm also happy that this has been an excuse to come back to this particular area. So thank you, Pavanji, for inviting me. So while IIM Trichy is celebrating its 14th Foundation Day or 14th anniversary, I just look back at my own career and I realize I've actually spent 34 years in IIMs. That's quite a long period by any stretch of imagination. I entered IIM Ahmedabad as a PhD student, or FPM as it was called at that time, in 1991. I then went on to become a faculty member at IIM Bangalore in 1996. In between, of course, I took a detour to be director of IIM Indore for 5 years. And during that period, Pavanji, I and other colleagues also set up IIM Sambalpur. And then, of course, I returned to IIM Bangalore and became the director. So you've actually seen that more than half my life has actually been spent in the IIM system. So I thought I will use this opportunity to basically share with all of you what have I learned from this journey over the last 33, 34 years. And in the process, I'll also share what I think are the implications of that, both for students and faculty colleagues here at IIM Trichy. So let me just go back first to the time when I entered IIM Ahmedabad as a student. So interestingly, that was a very momentous year. I joined IIM Ahmedabad as a student in 1991. You all know what was happening in 1991, that was economic liberalization. We had our orientation program in June 1991. Some of you might know that the 1st July 1991 was when the new industrial policy statement of India was released, which essentially brought together all the various facets of liberalization. Now, as you can imagine, this was a very exciting time because the country itself was changing its philosophy and changing its approach to economic growth. In fact, it was so exciting that the faculty members at IIM Ahmedabad had to literally revise their courses as we were going through the first year. In those days, the FPM and PGP had common courses in the first year. And I remember in the second term, we had a course on macroeconomics, which also looked at the Indian economy. The faculty had to literally throw away all their old notes and they had to really design the course afresh because the whole economic policy environment in India had completely changed. So I think that also reflects one good point about the IIMs as a system, that we are quite responsive to change. I think we are quite quick at understanding what are the implications of things that are happening around us and then sharing those with the students. And I think that's one characteristic we all need to retain, sustain and carry forward. And that's equally relevant to all of you students as well. Another thing which struck me when I was a student at IIM Ahmedabad was that the faculty did very little spoon feeding. We were all expected to come to the class fully prepared. In fact, some of the professors would not answer questions at all. They would expect you to develop the answer. In fact, we had some legendary professors in marketing like Professor Abhinandan Jain, we had Professor Mote in quantitative methods. And they would simply, just keep badgering you with questions. They would never really in a way give you a direct answer. One good implication of this is we all learn to think on our feet. And I think that's one thing I hope and I'm reasonably confident that all of you in IIM Trichy are able to do as well. Another thing they were very conscious of and very sensitive to was the fact that we all need to be able to think from first principles. We need to be able to develop critical thinking. In fact, I don't know what happens these days in MBA programs, like you go through. But interestingly, for example, in marketing, I never even opened Kotler's book, even though it was the prescribed reading. Because in all our exams, we were really expected to develop things from scratch. In fact, if you use too much jargon in the exam, you used to get very poor marks. And the faculty, they weren't very encouraging of that. They expected you to analyze the case, come up with your own insights, and not just reproduce what was in the textbook. That really helped all the PGP students in IIM Ahmedabad get really good jobs. Because remember, this was the time when the economy was opening up. There wasn't a whole lot of data. People had to really think afresh. And that kind of a perspective where they had learned through the case method, they had learned to think on their feet, really helped them develop the kind of perspective which was required to succeed in a competitive economy. Another important thing I think which our previous speaker, Mr. Tangya, will also underline was the importance of communication. One thing I realized at IIM Ahmedabad was almost all the students who are my PGP batchmates when I was doing FPM were very good in communication, and in some ways that's what really helped them in their career. Of course they were smart, they did well in CAT, all that goes without saying. But the fact that they could communicate very clearly is something which really enabled them to establish themselves. Self-confidence, self-motivation, self-discipline. I think this was something which again Institute nurtured very well in all of us, and I would urge all of you to really find a way of developing this in yourselves, because this is really something that's very important. But another thing that also struck me at IIM Ahmedabad, and I think this is something we all need to worry about both as individuals as institutions, is that IIM Ahmedabad at that time was not very quick to change. In fact, if you look at the program portfolio of IIM Ahmedabad, for almost, IIM Ahmedabad has been in existence now for more than 60 years. If you look at it, the program portfolio has not changed all that much. And I think that may not be the best thing because the environment is actually changing quite quickly. So while it's good to be successful, it's probably not good to be too invested in your earlier success, but you need to question all the assumptions that are behind whatever choices you have made and make whatever changes are required. When I joined IIM Bangalore as a faculty member, I actually saw something quite different. IIM Bangalore at that time was not the perception of IIM Bangalore at that time was not quite the same as it is today. In fact, when I was a student, when I went to IIM and so on, IIM Bangalore was number 3 and seen much below both Ahmedabad and Calcutta. But what has happened over the last approximately 25-30 years at IIM Bangalore is quite interesting, because not only has the institute now clearly come to the top and on par with IIM Ahmedabad, sometimes even better in some of the rankings, but what has actually happened is the institute has really changed over the years. And here I would just like to point out that I think one characteristic which IIM Bangalore has demonstrated over time is the ability to identify changes in the environment and to come up with both academic offerings as well as research programs that respond effectively to those. I'll just give you a couple of examples. So you all know today that the Indian IT industry is something we are all very proud of. But in 1998, the Indian IT industry was nowhere near what it is today. In fact, some of you who know a little bit about business history would know that it is solving the Y2K problem around the year 2000. That was really the growth push for the Indian IT industry. But in 1998, IIM Bangalore, in collaboration with the IT industry, at least the major software companies, realized there was going to be a need for a significant number of good managers to drive growth. So even before Y2K, even before the trend was completely clear, I think visionary leaders from the industry as well as the leadership of IIM Bangalore realized that this was going to be a trend coming forward, and we set up a weekend MBA program to meet the needs of the IT industry. This was also funded quite generously by Wipro and other companies, and that weekend MBA program that we set up at that time has now become a major source of the top managerial talent for the IT and IT services industry. So this is just one example to show the importance of being able to really identify opportunities, capitalize on them, build on them, and then really create a new future. Another interesting thing happened many years later. In 2014, I went to Indore and a new gentleman came as the director of IIM Bangalore. His name was Sushil Vachani. He flew in directly from Boston. It's the first time we got a director who came directly from the US. And in Boston, what he had seen was that the whole shape and profile of education was changing. Online education was becoming important. Some of you might know that's around the time Coursera and edX and all these online platforms were just beginning to take off. So he came with a very interesting agenda. He came with the agenda that IIM Bangalore needs to be a leader in online education. And in fact, he was our director for a very short period of time, I think just over 2 years. But in that time, he set up IIMB's presence in MOOCs. IIMB became a partner of edX. Today, IIMB has more than 80 courses available online. IIMB is the national coordinator for management for SWAYAM. We today offer an online BBA program in digital business and entrepreneurship. We have at least 2 or 3 major certificate programs for hospital management, AI, etc. All of this happened because at that time in 2014, Sushil Vachani was able to see the importance of online learning and bring it in as an important capability to IIM Bangalore. I think this is equally relevant to all of you students here. As your careers develop, as you see things changing, and particularly in a rapidly changing technology environment as we see today, your ability to understand what are the important trends and changes, prepare yourself for them, and then actually make the right moves in the direction will be very important. I think equally important, and this is something I would like to address to our faculty colleagues here at IIM Trichy, is we need a good dose of academic entrepreneurship. You need people within academic institutions who can take these new ideas, run with them and make them happen. And one of the challenges I see today, I think we've all become very research focused. We've all become, much more academic in that sense. But very clearly to meet the needs of industry, to meet the needs of the country and to meet the needs of our institutions, we need more academic entrepreneurs. We need professors who are willing to step out of their normal routine, take up 1 or 2 of these big ideas and really make them happen. And that's equally important for all of you students. I think it's not about whether you will start a startup. It's about whether you will be able to demonstrate and display entrepreneurship in whatever context you are situated. In fact, at IIMB, we now have a course on entrepreneurial mindset as a compulsory course in the first year in PGP. The reason we have that course is not that we expect everybody to go and create startups. But the reason we have that course is we expect that in the kind of fast changing environment in which we find ourselves today, you will need managers who can identify those opportunities and then convert them into actual business models and then really translate them into action. Professor Pawan Singh mentioned my tenure at IIM Indore. It was a very fulfilling period for me. And I also learned a few things from my experience there as the director. One thing I learned is that it's very important to build on what has already been created in the institution. Sometimes when you go to a new institution, you have a tendency to think, I just want to show what great things I can do. And to make that happen, I will try to just belittle or try to set aside what has been done earlier. I would just recommend to all of you in the student community as well, don't do that. It's much more constructive in the long run to build on what was created already. And I think that's a nice thing that happened in Indore. My predecessor was quite a creative gentleman, Professor Ravichandran. He started what has today become the signature of IIM Indore in a way, which is the IPM or Integrated Program in Management. At that time, it was a very bold step. No IIM had gone into undergrad education. Integrated program concept did not exist. IIM Indore could not even give degrees. Remember, in those days, we could only give PG diplomas. But in spite of that, he decided to try out this idea. When I came in, there were lots of doubts about it. It was just 2 or 3 years old. It started in 2011. In fact, the same year IIM Trichy started. And when I walked in 2014, January, there were lots of doubts, skeptics, all the rest. But I decided, we have to make this work. We have to make this successful. It's no point in rubbishing it. Let's try to really make it into a very successful program. And with the collaboration and cooperation of all our faculty in IIM Indore, today IPM is really seen as an important differentiator in management education. So to me, the lesson was very clear. I think we all need to figure out how can we build on what has been created already. And through that process, we can create much more value than we would be able to create just on our own. I think one of the challenges we've seen in India over the last few decades is the time it takes to bring an institution to critical mass. The government has, in its wisdom, tried to set up new institutions. Today we have 21 IIMs. We have, I don't know the exact number, 23 or 24 IITs. And many of these have been set up in the last 10 to 15 years. One of the big challenges is how do you bring these to scale? Now, one part of the scale story, Pawanji already alluded to, which is the infrastructure part. But I think one thing you will notice today in India, physical infrastructure is not really the big challenge. In fact, you go to private universities like I'm sure some of you have been, many of them have excellent physical infrastructure. The challenge is really in the intellectual infrastructure and your ability to not only run good academic programs, but also reach out to industry and bring a kind of entire the value chain into the institutional framework. So I think one of our challenges going forward, and I think that's what Pawanji was also mentioning, is how do you take off from this point? For example, from IIM Trichy's point of view, how do you take off from here? How do you really create that very distinctive institution for the future? By the way, it's not a question for IIM Trichy alone. Even at IIM Bangalore, we have the same challenge, but in a maybe slightly different way. In general, in the Indian rankings, we are number 1 or number 2 in all rankings. In global rankings, we do well, but we are stuck in a range of 25 to 50, depending on the ranking agency and which program they are looking at. So we're very proud of the fact that all our programs are ranked in the top 50 in the world. But how do we break through, say, into the top 25? That's something which is not all that clear at this point of time. So I think whichever stage of the journey you're at, you still have all these challenges. You have to kind of look at new ways of really grappling with this whole thing. Okay, finally, let me just come to a few things at the individual level. So, I had this very interesting experience several years ago. I thought I'll share it with you. This must be about 10-15 years ago, probably around the time IIM Trichy was founded. One day I had an unexpected visitor. He was an alum from IIM Calcutta, and he had a very strong interest in building sustainable transportation solutions. I didn't know him at all. He just walked into my office one day, and he had this concept of how can you build a very sustainable transport system for India using EVs. Now just think about it. We are talking about EVs today, but he was talking about this maybe 15 years ago. And he came in and told me, I want you to help me develop this concept, and more importantly, I want to help you get funding. So I sort of talked to him for a few minutes, and then I told him, look, I'm not a transportation expert. I don't understand what you're talking about. How can I help you? I told him I'll connect you to some people who know that area well. So he kind of got very upset with me. And then he said, you know what? The problem with you IIM professors is you all have aspiration deficit. You don't really have that burning desire to change things. Otherwise, if you had that, you would be just immediately, working with me and making this happen. So looking back now, many years later, I think there is a small kernel of truth in what he was saying. It may not be about IIM professors alone, by the way. It could be about many others. That I really think we have to aspire and look to do things not only on a bigger scale, but also with much more depth and higher quality. I think that's really the kind of goal we all need to set for ourselves. There was a very successful management thinker. Your students, you may not have heard of him because he unfortunately passed away several years ago. A gentleman called Sumantra Ghoshal, who taught at INSEAD and London Business School. So Sumantra Ghoshal had a very interesting analysis of India. He says in India, the challenge is that we all suffer from satisfactory underperformance. I just repeat that, satisfactory underperformance. You might be wondering, what does this mean? It sounds like an oxymoron. What he actually meant is interesting. What he said was, we are all quite capable of achieving satisfactory performance. So you set any goal, we will sort of achieve that some way or the other. But we don't really perform to our full potential. That's what he called the underperformance. So in a way, I think this is related to the aspiration deficit thing I talked about a couple of minutes ago. So I'm just trying to urge all of you, whether you are faculty or whether you are students, please sort of reflect carefully on what are the goals we should set ourselves. If you're students, please don't settle for, I'm not against money by the way, so please do look for jobs with good money, but please take on jobs which have really good challenges to address. Please take on jobs which can really make impact. Please take on jobs which address critical problems. There are many of them outside there. Please take them on and try to address them. As an IIM alumnus, whichever IIM you come from, you will never be poor, you will never be on the street, nothing like that. You will all be quite well off economically, so that's not the problem. Try to do something which will really make a larger impact beyond the benefit it will have for you. And I can guarantee you there are literally thousands of problems visible in India and all over the world, which you can pick up and try to address. And I would urge you all to do that. I would similarly urge our faculty to be academic entrepreneurs, to take on some of these big challenges. And I don't think now it's a question of or. We all have to now find a way of doing things, and we have to do multiple things. We have to be really good scholars, we have to be really good teachers, we have to be able to take on these external challenges, all of these at the same time. And while doing all of this, we also have to ensure, and I'm just going back to the talk I gave PGP students in IIM Trichy all those years back, we have to ensure that we do them in an ethical and responsible way. I don't think there is any scope for shortcuts. And the only way we can do that is if we set excellence as our benchmark. We should really take the best benchmarks anywhere in the world and try and make sure that we get to those benchmarks. So once again, let me thank you all for inviting me to IIM Trichy. Happy birthday, as Professor Pawan Singh said, happy birthday to all of you and to the Institute. And I wish you all well, but I would really urge you all to just think about what are the really impactful challenges you can take on and play whatever small role you can towards achieving those challenges. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring and guiding words. I now request our director, sir, to present the memento to our chief guest, Professor Rishikesh T. Krishnan, and our guest of honor, Shri Gopi Thangaveli.
Oh.
this is what offered at SVU. When I went for the speech at SVU, the offered symbol that had a skill development.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. Godwin Tennyson, Dean Administration, to please present the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. So as we come to the end of this ceremony, so it's my honor to present the vote of thanks. And we had the privilege of hearing from honorable guests. So I wish to first thank Professor Krishnan, who inspired us with his journey at different places. So as a parting note, he gave a very nice thought of take up something very challenging. So I think we should actually try to work towards that. Let's take it as, make it as a goal and try to do something on that. So thank you very much, sir, for your time. And we had Sri Gopi Tangaveli also trying to share his experience. And one parting thought he left with us is, so it doesn't matter what you do, etc. All that really matters is the passion and the hard work. So that is something that really very inspiring. And it's again a cue for us to really reflect on it and think about it and see what can be done about that and how do we really work towards that. And thank you very much for your time, sir. And thank you very much, sir, for the director. So for Professor Pawan Kumar Singh, as usual, trying to inspire us with nice thoughts. So very nice of you, sir. Thank you for leading the institute. And thank you very much. And also thank my colleague, Professor Saravanan. Thank everyone here, the faculty colleagues, the students, staff, officers, everyone here. And I also want to recognize and also acknowledge the effort done by the team who worked on that video presentation. So a lot of hard work went into that to quickly reflect on our journey for the past 14 years now. So really want to acknowledge. And a lot of work happened behind the screen to ensure that this place was ready. So really the housekeeping staff, the IT staff, the administrative staff, everyone. So I want to acknowledge and thank their efforts. So with that note, I just want to end my speech here. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for us to pay homage to our motherland. Let us all stand for the national anthem.
Janagana mana adhinayak jaya he Bharat bhagya vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Banga Indra Himachal Yamuna Ganga Uchala Jaladhi Taranga Tava Shubha Name Jage Tava Shubha Ashish Mage Gaye Tava Jaya Gatha Jana Gana Mangala Dayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Jaya 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 He.
Very